All right, let's talk about Microsoft Excel. It's one of the most powerful tools out there, but let's be honest, it can also be pretty intimidating. So, what we're going to do here is simple. We're going to demystify it and turn that bit of confusion into a whole lot of confidence, one step at a time. Does this look familiar to you? That giant wall of empty boxes? That feeling of, okay, where on earth do I even begin? Well, if you've ever felt that, trust me, you are not alone. And you're in exactly the right place, because today, that feeling is gonna change. You see, that grid isn't a barrier, not at all. It's really a blank canvas. It's a place where you can organize your work, your projects, even your life. So together, we are gonna walk through those crucial first steps to really mastering it. Okay, first things first. Before we can do anything cool, we need to know our way around. Think of it like getting the keys to a car and just learning where the steering wheel and the pedals are. We're going to start with the absolute basics. So let's nail down the most fundamental idea right away. The entire file you open and save, that's called a workbook. The best way to think of it is like a digital binder. Now, inside that binder, you have all these individual pages, and each one is called a worksheet. It's a really simple way to keep related stuff together, like, say, your monthly budget on one sheet and a detailed list of expenses on another. And every single one of those worksheets is made up of these little rectangles. This is a cell. And this is where everything, and I mean everything, happens. Every number you type, every piece of text, every single calculation, it all lives inside one of these cells. It's the basic building block for everything we're going to do. And here's your control panel. Up at the top, you've got the ribbon. That's your main toolkit for everything from formatting to formulas. Right below that is the formula bar, which is super important. On the sides, you see the letters and numbers? That's your address system, so you can always find a specific cell, like A1 or B2. And way down at the bottom, you can just click to flip between your different worksheets. That's pretty much it. That's the lay of the land. Okay, so we know our way around. Now it's time to actually start taming some data. This part is all about getting information into those cells, and, just as importantly, making it look good and easy to understand. So how do you get stuff in there? Well, it's about as simple as it gets. Seriously. You just click a cell to select it, start typing whatever you want, and then hit enter. That's it. That's the core action of building any spreadsheet. Click, type, enter. You're on your way. Now, let's be real. A big wall of plain text and numbers is, well, it's pretty ugly and hard to read. But with just a few clicks, you can make it so much clearer. You can bold your headers, use a little color to make a key number pop, or just give your text some breathing room by making the columns wider. These little changes make a massive difference. Okay, and here is one of my favorite little time savers in all of Excel. When you click on a cell, you see that tiny little square in the bottom right corner? That's called the fill handle, and it's like magic. If you type January in a cell, you can just grab that little handle and drag it down, and boom, Excel automatically fills in February, March, April, and so on. It's amazing. All right, so our data is in, it looks nice and organized. Now we get to the fun part. It's time to unleash the real power of Excel. This is where we stop just storing information and we start making that information actually work for us. Oh man, we have all been here, right? You've got this huge list. You scroll down maybe 20 rows, and suddenly you're like, wait, what was this column again? It's probably one of the most common frustrations, and you're gonna love how simple the solution is. These three tools right here, absolute game changers for big lists. Sort is straightforward. It lets you arrange everything in order. Filter is incredible. You can just click a button and say, hey, only show me the sales from the West region, and everything else just disappears. And freeze panes, that's our one-click fix. It locks your headers at the top so they stay put, no matter how far down you scroll. So organizing your data is great, but the real soul of Excel, the reason it's so powerful, is its ability to do math. This is where we turn it into a super-powered calculator. So here's the number one rule, the golden rule of Excel formulas. You always start with an equal sign. That's the signal that tells Excel, hey, get ready to calculate something. After that, you just click on the cells you want to use, type a plus or minus or whatever, and hit enter. You're literally just building a math sentence. And for the really common stuff, Excel gives you these amazing shortcuts called functions. Think of them like little pre-built recipes or magic spells. So instead of adding up 10 cells one by one, you just type equal sum and select them all at once. Need the average equals average. The biggest number in a list equals max. These are your go-to spells. We've done a lot. We've entered our data, we've formatted it, we've organized it, we've even calculated it. Now it's time for the grand finale, turning all those boring numbers into a story that anyone can understand in a single glance. Okay, so here's some data. It's clean, it's accurate, but is it interesting? Not really. You have to actually read every single number to figure out what's going on. I think we can do better than this. And bam, look at that. With just a couple of clicks, that exact same data is now a visual story. You can instantly see sales were climbing, they peaked in March and then dipped a little in April. You don't have to read anything. The insight just jumps right off the page. That is the power of a chart. So now that you know these skills, what can you actually do with them? Well, let's look at a couple of real-world projects that you could build right now. For instance, you could build a personal monthly budget. You just enter your expenses, use that sum function we talked about to get your totals, and then create a nice chart like this to see exactly where all your money is going. Or you can make a perfectly organized contact list, and if you format it as a table, Excel automatically gives you those handy little sort and filter buttons on your headers, so now you can instantly find everyone from a certain company or sort all your contacts alphabetically. So useful. So we have covered a ton of ground here. We went from that scary blank sheet all the way to creating organized, insightful reports. The point is, you now have the fundamental building blocks you need to tackle dozens of real-world tasks. And really, that's the main takeaway. Excel isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's a tool for finding and telling stories that are hidden in data. You now have the basic vocabulary. The only question left is, what story are you going to tell first?